If you have ever tried to record professional-grade audio for your YouTube videos, TikToks, or client projects, you already know the absolute nightmare of wireless audio gear. You spend hundreds, sometimes thousands, of dollars on expensive setups, heavy transmitters, bulky body packs, tangled cords, and fragile receivers, only to step outside, catch a sudden gust of wind, or walk 20 feet away from your camera, and your entire audio track gets completely ruined by digital static, clipping, or harsh background noise. You sit down in your editing bay hours later, listen back to your footage, and realize your best take is completely unusable. It is genuinely one of the most frustrating, soul-crushing experiences a content creator can ever go through. But what if everything you thought you knew about portable audio was completely wrong? What if a piece of hardware small enough to hide effortlessly behind a lapel pin, light enough that you literally forget you are even wearing it, and powerful enough to rival professional studio gear could change your entire workflow forever? Enter the ecosystem leaks and massive industry buzz surrounding the ultimate audio evolution, the new DJI Mic Mini M3. This is not just another incremental spec bump or a minor design tweak from a company resting on its laurels. This is a complete paradigm shift in how we capture human voice on the move, and today, we are going to break down every single detail, leak, rumor, and performance metric to see if this tiny powerhouse actually lives up to the insane hype. To understand why the tech community is completely losing its mind over the DJI Mic Mini M3, we first have to look at the massive pain points that creators face every single day. For years, wireless microphone manufacturers have forced us to make an impossible choice. You could either buy massive, heavy, professional-grade systems that offered pristine sound quality, multi-channel inputs, and advanced internal backup recording, but weighed down your collar, looked bulky on camera, and required a separate backpack just to carry your charging case and accessories. Or, you could buy ultra-compact, minimalist mini microphones that disappeared nicely on clothing, but suffered from terrible battery life, weak transmission range, terrible wind handling, and a frustrating lack of professional features like 32-bit float audio or reliable gain staging. Creators were constantly forced to compromise. If you wanted great sound, you had to deal with uncomfortable hardware. If you wanted comfort, you had to sacrifice audio reliability. It was a lose-lose situation that left countless vloggers, filmmakers, and independent creators searching for a better solution. When early industry leaks and supply chain rumors regarding the DJI Mic Mini M3 first surfaced, they pointed to a radical redesign focused heavily on solving this exact dilemma. The most striking specification floating around the tech space is the jaw-dropping weight reduction, pointing toward an ultralight body form factor that sits at roughly 11 grams. Think about that for a second. 11 grams. That is lighter than a standard coin. When you clip something that light onto a delicate silk shirt, a lightweight t-shirt, or a casual hoodie, the fabric does not sag, pull, or fold awkwardly. Traditional wireless transmitters often act like small anchors on your clothing, forcing you to use awkward hiding techniques or heavy magnetic mounts that slide around whenever you move. With an 11-gram footprint, the Mic Mini M3 hugs your clothing securely and stays completely invisible to the camera lens. For solo creators, walking-talking vloggers, and interviewers who need to move dynamically without worrying about their gear shifting or dropping out of frame, this kind of ergonomic leap is an absolute game-changer. But physical design and weight are only half the battle. The real test of any microphone system comes down to what happens when sound waves hit that tiny capsule. For the longest time, miniature microphones struggled with dynamic range. If you whispered softly and then suddenly laughed loudly or shouted with excitement, the audio would instantly clip, creating a harsh, digital distortion that cannot be fixed in post-production. Traditional audio mitigation required careful manual gain staging, keeping a nervous eye on audio meters, and hoping that unexpected loud noises wouldn't ruin your take. Rumors and leaks surrounding the Mi Mini M3 suggest a massive leap forward in internal processing power, heavily pointing toward advanced audio architecture designed to handle extreme dynamic ranges effortlessly. While traditional systems forced you to manually fiddle with settings or risk losing your audio, modern compact tech is shifting toward intelligent audio protection that works invisibly in the background. Let us talk about the elephant in the room, 32-bit float audio recording. Over the past couple of years, 32-bit float has completely revolutionized the filmmaking and podcasting industries. In simple terms, it records such a massive dynamic range that it is practically mathematically impossible to clip your audio, whether your subject whispers like a ghost or screams like a rock star. While older and cheaper wireless mics forced you to stay locked into rigid 24-bit recording limits, premium ecosystem upgrades have been pushing 32-bit float heavily into compact form factors. The integration of advanced internal recording capabilities means that even if your wireless transmission drops out completely due to severe environmental interference or physical obstacles, your transmitter is quietly saving a pristine, unclipped backup file directly onto its internal memory. For a content creator working out in the chaotic real world, surrounded by Wi-Fi routers, Bluetooth signals, concrete walls, and unpredictable crowds, having a reliable internal backup running in 32-bit float is the ultimate insurance policy. It means you never have to walk up to an interview subject and say, "Hey, I'm so sorry, my mic cut out. Can we do that entire emotional moment all over again?" That peace of mind alone is worth its weight in gold. Beyond audio fidelity, transmission stability and range are critical metrics that separate professional gear from cheap consumer toys. Cheap microphones tend to cut out the second you turn your back to the camera or walk more than 30 feet away. They use congested frequency bands that drop packets constantly. DJI has built a massive reputation for engineering rock-solid wireless transmission protocols that maintain low latency and high bitrate audio delivery over massive distances, even in dense urban environments filled with interference. The expected performance metrics for the Mic Mini M3 point toward an ultra-stable connection protocol that ensures zero noticeable audio delay, perfect lip-syncing, and crystal-clear transmission whether you are standing 2 feet away from your tripod or pacing across a massive presentation stage. When you are investing your hard-earned money into a tech ecosystem, you need to know that your equipment won't let you down in the middle of an important shoot. Battery life is another major battleground where compact microphones historically failed. Because the physical housing of a mini transmitter is so small, manufacturers struggle to fit batteries large enough to get through a full day of shooting. You would get 2 or 3 hours of continuous use before needing to rush back to your charging cable, completely halting your creative momentum. The leaked roadmaps and specifications for the Mic Mini M3 highlight a massive optimization in power efficiency. Paired with an intelligent charging case that stores multiple full charges, the overall system operational capacity aims to provide dozens of hours of total field use before the entire kit ever needs to see a wall outlet. Imagine heading out for a full weekend travel vlog, shooting all day long, tossing your transmitters back into their compact magnetic charging case between locations, and never once stressing about your battery percentage dropping into the red zone. That is the kind of frictionless workflow that lets creators focus entirely on storytelling rather than micromanaging their gear. Noise cancellation is also undergoing a massive transformation. Older active noise-canceling algorithms on wireless mics often sounded aggressive, robotic, and hollow, stripping the natural warmth and depth right out of the human voice. They would eliminate background hums, but they would leave your voice sounding like it was being transmitted through an old computer speaker. The newer iterations of active noise cancellation built into high-end mini mics utilize multi-level filtering designed to intelligently separate ambient environment noise like traffic, wind, and HVAC hums from the rich frequencies of spoken dialogue. This means you can shoot content and loud coffee shops, busy city streets, or windy outdoor parks, and still pull clean, broadcast-ready dialogue straight out of the box without spending hours in post-production applying heavy noise reduction plugins. When you look at the broader content creation market in 2026, the expectations from viewers have never been higher. Audiences consume video on high-resolution screens with incredible sound systems, and they have zero patience for muddy, distant, or distorted audio. If your video looks stunningly cinematic shot on a high-end mirrorless camera, but your voice sounds thin, hollow, or plagued by background noise, viewers will swipe away within the first 3 seconds. Audio quality is quite literally 50% of your visual presentation. In fact, psychological studies on viewer retention consistently prove that people will forgive slightly soft video focus, but they will instantly click away from bad audio. Investing in a top-tier wireless microphone system like the anticipated DJI Mic Mini M3 is not just an equipment upgrade, it is a direct investment in your audience retention metrics, your channel growth, and your professional credibility. The ecosystem integration aspect is another massive selling point that cannot be ignored. Modern creators rarely use just one device. One day you are shooting a sit-down talking head video on a mirrorless camera, the next day you are running outside to shoot a fast-paced smartphone reel, and later that week you are connecting directly to action cameras or portable audio recorders for an adventure sport video. The versatility of the DJI ecosystem allows these tiny transmitters to interface seamlessly across multiple platforms, whether you are plugging directly into a camera via a 3.5mm TRS cable, locking into a mobile phone via digital adapters, or syncing natively with DJI's ecosystem gear like the Osmo Audio lineup. This cross-platform compatibility means you do not need to buy 3 or 4 different microphone kits for different devices. One single, ultra-portable kit handles every single device in your production arsenal. As we weigh all the leaks, specs, and industry expectations surrounding the DJI Mic Mini M3, it becomes abundantly clear why this device is dominating creator conversations. It represents the sweet spot where professional-grade engineering meets everyday consumer convenience. It takes the heavy, complicated, intimidating tech found in high-end Hollywood soundstages and shrinks it down into an 11-gram package that anyone can operate with zero technical training. You pull it out of the charging case, it automatically pairs, it clips securely to your clothing, and it records pristine, broadcast-quality audio that captures every single nuance of your voice.